Good morning. Today in this video we will discuss simplex method, unbounded solution, big M method or penalty method of artificial variable techniques. I am Dr. Deva Prasad, working with Vignan Institute of Technology and Science, Hyderabad. So when we try to look at solution space, our interest lies with finding either minimization or maximization if it is closed boundary. If it is not closed boundary, if it is a minimization case, it is absolutely easy for finding the closest points towards the origin. For the maximization case, if the boundary is unbounded, it is not possible to find a particular value for your x1, x2. x1, x2 can be any bigger number, so that you can have as much as possible large for the x1, x2. The decision can be any large number, so that it can generate maximum value. Now we will look at through one simple example where 107 x1 plus x2 plus x3 has to be maximized subjecting to these constraints. 10 x1 plus x2 minus 6 x3 plus 3 x4 equal to 7 and so on, and it has now x1, x2, x3, x4 as the decision vector. Now in this formulation, since x4 is not there in your objective function, we are treating that as a basic variable at initial solution, and then there is also equality form given in your formulation. Now make it unit as its coefficient. By that, for making that, so we are dividing the coefficient right now in the formulation, that is 3. 3x1 is divided by 3x4, all the left hand side, right hand side is divided by 3, so we are making that coefficient as 1. With that slack variable addition, the second constraint becomes equal to 5, the third constraint with s2 as a slack variable addition, that becomes equality, and we have decision vector and this modified objective function. Now remember, we have to pick up one variable from each of the constraint into the basis as a basic variable. So we pick up at this stage x4 from the first equation, s1 is from the second constraint, s3, s2 is from the third constraint. So for making that available full, that for the maximum value to be identified, so we need to make other values 0. So x1, x2, x3 0, x4 becomes 7 by 3 and so on with respect to s1 5, s2 0. So that we have a first initial simplex table where cost vector of the basic variables, cost coefficients and their quantities x, b, v. All the coefficients at this formulation, x1 coefficient in the first equation 14 by 3, 1 by 3, minus 2 and so on, all are placed in the middle of the table. So x1 as coefficient in the objective function 107, 1 x2, 2 x3, 0 s1 x4, 0 s1, 0 s2, and index row is basically a delta j, that is the net evaluation value of this particular table. So of each variable x1, what is the net evaluation? By not having x1 into basics, so what is the impact on the objective function? So here the minus 107, that is 14 by 3 multiplied by 0 plus 16 multiplied by 0, 3 multiplied by 0 minus 107, that is minus 107, that is the highest negative value. Pick up this as a index net evaluation that is going to be contributing high for your objective function, and then identify the ratio, minimum ratio with the xbb, the column xbv column with respect to the xi, and that particular variable will be leaving from the solution. S2 is now replaced by x1 in your basis. With that, you will have a modified simplex table in this fashion. Using the formula for key row, the values, you will be using new value equal to old value divided by key number. For all other rows, new value equal to old value minus corresponding key column value multiplied by corresponding key row value divided by key number. That is what we have discussed in the previous video. If there is any understanding difficulty, please raise your concern through our groups, appropriate groups, or otherwise chat box. Now at this stage, the index row after calculation we land at 0, minus 110 by 3, 113 by 3. That is the highest negative, that is identified as now key column. In this particular table, the key column which is identified has all negative coefficients with respect to the key column variable x3. That is the indication. If there is all values are negative in that particular column, then that is the indication that it is not possible to find the variable which is leaving the basis. So that is the case, it is a unbounded solution to the given linear programming problem. Now we will look at other variation, where the variation of simplex method, where when we have a artificial variable into the formulation, what should we do? That is one method where we will be solving this type of scenario using big M method. This is also called as penalty method. The M is the largest number we will be assigning to the artificial variable what we place in our formulation. So x1, x2 are the decisions that will influence the function here, and with that this is subjecting to the constraints here x1, x2, first constraint which is equality form, the second constraint which is greater than form, the third constraint which is lesser than form. This formulation has all the type of equality inequalities, and then x1, x2 is greater than or equal to 0. The first formulation, first equation, first constraint 3x1 plus x2 which is equal to 3, but there is a possibility that x1 and x2 can be 0. Under that scenario, this particular constraint becomes 0 equal to 3, which is a meaningless. So for accommodating that scenario, we place a1, that is an artificial variable, into the formulation. It doesn't have any physical meaning, just to accommodate the scenario for the mathematical requirement of your formulation. So that is not going to be in your final decision, that should not be in your final decision. If it exists, that is not a solution. So it should not be in your final solution when we pick up value for your x1, x2, so that should be x1, x2 only. Now here we have 3 equations, so we can have a third variable into formulation, final decision. So the third variable should not be artificial variable, that variables can be either s1 or s2. Let us see when we solve this method problem. So we have first equation 3x1 plus x2 plus a1 equal to 3. The second constraint which is a greater than or equal to, that is also where the left hand side is higher, so surplus quantity where subtracted is a positive quantity. The case x1, x2 0, this lands into a situation where the surplus s1 equal to minus 6. That is also violates the condition here x1, x2, s2, s1 are greater than 0. S2 is s1 is a positive quantity, that has to be subtracted. That negativeness of that s1 is violating the given constraint here, non-negativity constraint. So to accommodate again this scenario, we will have another artificial variable into the second equation. With that, first constraint becomes 3x1 plus x2 plus a1. The second constraint becomes 4x1 plus 3x2 minus surplus variable s1 plus a2 to accommodate the surplus value here, the negativeness in the formulation, and also the third equation which is lesser than or equal to constraint. So therefore x1 plus 2x2 plus s2 equal to 3. With that we have variables x1, x2, s1, s2 greater than or equal to 0, and a1, a2 must be 0. That is the final requirement of our formulation. We should not have artificial variable which is a fixed variable which doesn't have any meaning, just to accommodate the mathematical requirement of your formulation under a particular scenario of this restriction x1, x2, 0. So initial basic feasible solution in this case, we will have a1 from the first equation, a2 from the second equation, and s2 from the third constraint. If there is an artificial variable exists, you need to give priority for artificial variable to be in your basis. So non-basic variables at this stage x1, x2, s1. The total 6 variables. Among that we have 3 variables into basis, and those variables are called basic variables. The other variables are non-basic variables. With that we have a formula, simplex table is this one, where a1, a2 and their contribution. Let us see that formulation. That is, so we are assigning a maximum impact here. This is a minimization case, so we converted this case into a maximization case for standard form, and also we are assigning a high penalty with respect to the artificial variable to the objective function, that is subtracted, that is going to be minus. So minus m multiplied with that artificial variable if it comes into your decision finally, so that should not contribute anything. So that large penalty we are giving to the objective function so that it never be a maximum value. With respect to artificial variables, we are assigning minus m as the penalty for the objective function. If in case you have a decision variable value of a1 or a2, that should impact heavily objective function. That is why we have a minus m. That's why we call it as a big M method. So with that, we have a cost coefficients here minus m for a1, a2 and s2 0, and the remaining same all the coefficients of your variables. Now place for the top here minus 2 the coefficient of your x1 in your objective function, x2 coefficient and s1 coefficient, s2 coefficient and artificial variable coefficient, and also the final artificial variable coefficient. So with this, now at this stage the z dash, which is now maximized, equal to minus 3m minus 6m. So now totally minus 9m is now, that's a heavy negative number with respect to the objective function. So now find index row where here 3m minus 4m, so minus 7m, minus of minus 2 plus 2, minus 7m plus 2. Similarly 1 minus m minus 3m, so minus 4m, minus of minus 1 plus 1, and s1, so minus 1 multiplied by minus m, that's m, and s2 is basic variable, so s2 below the column index row is 0, a1 is your basic variable, the last index row value is 0, a2 is also your basic variable in our basis, so below that basic variable in index row will have 0. Now with this is the largest value in terms of negative, so x1 is now at this stage is identified as a key column, that is xi. Now find the minimum ratio xb by xi so that you can identify the variable which can be replaced. Now here there is a tie, 1 and 1, a1, a2 are both equally feasible candidates to leave the solution, but if that is a variable, if there is a variable, artificial variable exists, give priority to leave from the solution. So now a1 is identified as the variable which will be leaving, x1 will be placed in place of a1. With that, we have a x1, a2, s2, and all the calculations, whatever the way we have just discussed in this video. Key row, the key row here it is the first row, 3 by 3, 1, 1, 3 by 3, 1, 1 by 3, 1, 0 by 3, 0 by 3, a1 left, so no need to calculate a1 once left, so leave it so that you can save the time. Now a2 is there, calculate all those. So now the basic variable here x1, so x1 to x1 intersection point is 1, and all the remaining variables in the column is 0. a2 and a2 we have a 1 and all other remaining values 0, 0. s2 we have here the s2 to the s2 column 1, the intersection value that is pivoted on that, so now 0, 0. Now the remaining values we need to find out. For first to find index row, so now here it is a minus 5 by 3 m plus 1 by 3, that is from 1 by 3 into minus 2 plus 5 by 3 multiplied by minus m plus 5 by 3 into 0 minus the top minus 1. So with that we have a value that will be minus 5 by 3 m plus 1 by 3, 1 by 3, and then m 0, 0. Now this is now minus 5 by 3 m plus 1 by 3 is the largest negative value, so that is now your key column. Find the ratio with respect to xb v divided by xi and find again the minimum ratio. The minimum ratio against, again here it is a tie, so that is a between artificial variable and slack variable, so give priority to artificial variable to exit from the basis. So now artificial variable a2 is replaced by x2. With this we have the last table, the key row is now, which was a2 row, so 2 key row, key column was 5 by 3, so 2 5 by 3, that is 6 by 5, and all the columns or row values divided by 5 by 3. 5 by 3 by 5 by 3 is 1. Now the x1 is in your decision, so x1 to x1 column 1, the remaining value is 0. x2, the x2 intersection here with the column 1, remaining value is 0. a2 is left. Now delete the column. s2, now 1, s2 with s2 column 1, the remaining value is 0. So now we need to calculate only one column here, it is s1. So with that for that the value which comes here negative 1 by 5, that is a positive, that is an indication of this is the final table which is optimal decision, and that generates optimal value for your objective function, that is z equal to z dash equal to minus 12 by 5. So therefore the optimal value of this objective function is maximum z dash, which is minus 12 by 5, but we are interested in minimum z. So therefore minimum z equal to minus maximum z dash, which is equal to 12 by 5. Now this equation, whatever this formulation, this also can be solved by graphical method. Here I just placed it in place of, because that is the tool which permits not x1 x2, so it permits xy. So the same formulation now I have placed here it as a your objective constraint 1, constraint 2, constraint 3. It generates only because the one equation which is equal form, that is a single point. This point is only the point which it gives you where it satisfies all your equations, all your constraint equations. That is the point 0.6, 1.2. That is what we have obtained in our calculation 2. 3 by 5, 6 by 5. 3 by 5 is 0.6, 6 by 5 is 1.2. That is the, even you can observe the procedure whether it has got clear value or not by verifying with other methods. Now, so remember, just to recall, when we are using Big M method, convert the LPP if it is a minimization case into a maximization form, ignore if that is a maximization case, express into a standard form using slack, surplus, artificial variable. Only when we have artificial variable, only this is going to play a role. This method comes into a role for solving that formulation. Introduce artificial variable to the constraint with greater than equal to type and equality type form if necessary for consistency of equations and get initial basic feasible solution. We have seen one formula, one equation there, x4, the first today in the video, x4 which is not contributing anything to the objective function. That's why there x4 itself is treated as a basic variable, and one of the variables you can call it as a maybe slack or surplus, whatever that, according to your this thing. Now assign a large penalty against these artificial variables in the objective function to get rid of them from your final iteration. Solve the modified linear programming problem by simplex method. Give priority to your artificial variable to leave the solution if tie between two basic variables happen. Continue until either optimum is reached or there is indication of existence of an unbounded solution. So these are all the steps you need to observe when you are solving Big M method. So one of the following three situations arise while we go on iterations. No artificial variable remains in the basis, that is up, and that is the indication of optimality condition is satisfied, that is your condition satisfied, that is index row is positive number, then that particular basis set of decision variables is your optimum solution. If at least one artificial variable appears in the basis, that is the in this final basis artificial variable exists, but that should be a 0. If there is no artificial variable exists in your basis here, then absolutely the index row is satisfying your optimality condition, then absolutely there is no issue. But there may be chances of that there may be artificial variable in your final solution, but that is having 0 level, the xb value is 0. So that is also a a solution, but it is a degenerated solution, that is inferior solution. But we need for 3 equations 3 decision variables as in the form final this thing. If artificial variable exists, but that should be 0 in your basis. If at least one artificial appears in the basis at 0 level, that is your with 0 level and with a positive value of xBV column, your xBV value positive value, not a 0, basis appears, this is not 0 level, just this is wrong, typing mistake, but existed with a positive value in the xBV column, and that is the condition, optimal condition, satisfying all the index row is positive, then it is a feasible solution. The problem is no feasible solution, but that is a solution, but that solution is called as a pseudo optimal solution. Now for practice, try these 2 problems, but we will discuss this if time permits after we discussing other method for solving artificial variable case in the class. So now this comes under scenario 3, no solution, it is a pseudo optimal solution because it doesn't have any feasible solution space, doesn't have a common solution space. This can be visualized through the graph here. So the constraints are drawn, satisfying common area is in your second quadrant, that is also for 2 equations. Now that is not our case because x1 x2 is 0, we don't have any common area in your first quadrant where both x1 x2 are positive. So there is another scenario, try this and practice it, 3 variables, we will be getting a final solution x1 equal to 9 by 7, x2 equal to 10 by 21, x3 equal to 0 and maximum value of z equal to 64 by 21. So in the next video we will discuss 2-phase simplex method, same problem addressed in a different way, a different procedure. Thank you, and if you have any query, please post in our chat box or in our group. Thank you.